Yo, what up? Brycen show. I'm going to do another book review today because they're easy. And yeah. I'm going to do Hunt for the Skinwalker. I don't know if any of you guys have ever even heard of the Skinwalker. This is about the Skinwalker Ranch. Science confronts the unexplained at a remote ranch in Utah. And I guess if you're not familiar with, paranormal topics or whatever, you might be asking, what is a skinwalker? Skinwalker is kind of an American Indian legend about, it's a type of witch that can change shape or whatever, and basically sums it up, a shapeshifter. And this book is actually a true story, quote unquote, for the paranormal books. You always got to put them quote unquote, because you can almost guarantee they're going to be sensational. But this is pretty a unique book in a way for a number of reasons. But let's see. Let's start with this ranch itself. The Skinwalker Ranch is located on this remote plot of land. The book doesn't really go into much detail where it's at, but I'm pretty sure if you look around the internet, you'll be able to find out where it's at if you ever really wanted to go. But at this point in time, I'm led to believe that there's actually armed guards cameras at the entranceway. But let's see, yeah, you could probably figure it out online if you ever really wanted to go. And according to the paranormal myth, before I read the book, it's like this vortex of paranormal activity. You had like UFO sightings, poltergeist type activity, Bigfoot sightings I've heard before, and there's a lot of strange talk about it, and it's definitely fueled by the armed guards and the cameras and stuff. But yeah, this is like supposedly the official story of the Skinwalker Ranch. Let's see. And one real shocking scene in this book, it's kind of one of my favorites in a way, and it's a little grotesque that I would say that, but it's pretty good in just from like the paranormal book perspective. But there's a point where the main character's dogs go chasing after this blue orb into this patch of woods, and you hear some kind of like electrocution sound, and their dogs are like blown up by this bulb, which I should have said that was my favorite part. But let's see. It's broken into 3 parts. You have the hotspot, part 1, which goes into the occurrences while the original family lives here. Well, it's not the original family, but the family for the book. And that starts out with like this encounter with these big wolves, and the guy like shoots at them, and they don't go down and whatnot. And it moves from there into like UFO style activity where they're seeing these lights and stuff. And there's these glowing balls that will go around and like torment the livestock, and then like the cattle mutilations start, and it actually ends with that he incinerates the dog story, and they decide to sell the ranch or whatnot. And while this is all going on, the main character, what's his name? I have it written down here somewhere. Say Tim Gorman or something. Yeah, Tim Gorman. While he's living at the ranch, he'd go through town, and all the locals considered it to be the haunt of the Skinwalker, and there was this Skinwalker at this ranch, and it would torment the people because it was cursed ground. And let's see, basically they end up selling the land, and at this point in time, the book, we get to part 2, which is the investigation of the property. And apparently, some guy named Robert Bigelow, who there's actually an episode of Jesse Ventura's conspiracy theory dedicated to this guy, however reliable you believe that source is. But it's a pretty interesting story, but that's a whole different thing. This guy buys this property, and he decides to fund all this money. He's a real estate guy, real estate guru, I guess, big bucks. Decides to fund like this super scientific, the best there's ever been type of deal, board of overseers, and they were going to do a full scientific investigation. He just bought it so they could stay there and investigate it over a period of time, which is any paranormal investigator's dream. But and that's kind of where this book differs from the regular haunting book and whatnot is that there's a certain degree of credibility, which I'll get to later, to this because of that fact that he was head by scientists and all that. But I have to say, being a scientist, based book written by scientists, you'll notice that there's like no pictures. And according to the conspiracy theory episode of Jesse Ventura, they keep all those under wraps for some reason, which, we run into the classic problem as investigators and researchers that, there's no pictures and there's no graphs. And even in the book it talks about him taking all these readings and stuff, and you never really get to hear much of that. And I guess it's because the book is written, quote unquote, by a journalist with the help of the head of his team. But it's actually, like, just from a reading perspective, it's a pretty damn good book. This is one of the first paranormal books in a while that I've read where, I just flew through it. But definitely a good read for sure. Part 3 of the book is like kind of the hypothesis section, the theories of what was going on, and that's pretty much standard paranormal theory fanfare. You have the parallel universes, the active hallucination, the actual curse of the Skinwalker and all that, and nothing really new there. I didn't think it sort of lends that degree of credibility to it because there's scientists or whatever, but the book isn't really written scientifically. So it kind of makes you wonder, how much is true, how much is just, journalist, National Enquirer type stuff. But, it's not too long. You can fly through it. It's fast-paced. I'd say read it for that alone. But, good book. I can give it, 4 out of 5 stars. I'll give it 4 out of 5 stars. Alrighty. Thanks for watching.